Welcome to Chemistry 120. Chemistry in the context of chemistry in society through the context of Breaking Bad. My name is Dr. Sean Kelly. I'm located in beautiful Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and it is my pleasure, no, my honor, to be your guide through the wonderful world of chemistry. This class, as stated in the course descriptions, focuses on introducing non-science majors to the main concepts and applications of chemistry in our society. And there is no greater way of holding up the lens to society than to use pulp culture. The pulp culture anchor I've chosen to use to explore the relationship that society has with chemistry is AMC's hit series Breaking Bad. Now, the show probably went off the air 4 or 5 years ago. So that gives us the great advantage of having the entire series at our disposal via Netflix and Hulu. Now, Breaking Bad is rated TVMA, meaning it's basically the equivalent of a rated R movie. If you're not someone who's comfortable watching rated R movies, then this is not the class for you. Let me be clear about a couple things here. I will never require you to watch a full episode of Breaking Bad. Now, I do reserve class time. Once a week, I'll reserve an hour for us to watch an episode of Breaking Bad together. However, you don't have to do that. I'm never going to ask you on an exam, in episode 1, what did Jesse Pinkman do? I'm never going to ask that to you. So if you want to limit your exposure to the rated R material, you can simply skip watching the episode of Breaking Bad. That having been said, in the portions of my lecture, which you have to watch in order to pass the class, in my lectures that you have to watch in order to pass the class, I show clips from the TV show. In those clips, you will see cursing, you will see violence, and you will see drug use. There may also be sexual content, although it's AMC, so there's no body parts, if you understand what I'm saying. If you're someone who's going to be offended by those things, you need to talk to your advisor right now and switch courses. Let me also be clear. If you're somebody on the other extreme who wants shock value, you're really into illegal drugs, this is also not the course for you. Illegal drugs are wrong, they're illegal, they're bad, they'll destroy your life, they'll ruin your life, they'll destroy your life and the lives of everybody you care about. Matter of fact, if you're somebody who seeks to glorify illegal drug use, this is the wrong course for you, and you're missing the point not only of this course, but you're missing the point of the TV show, quite frankly. I always wonder about people who watch the TV show and think it glorifies the drug culture. If anything, it exposes how ugly, brutal, and savage, and how many lives are destroyed. Even innocent lives are destroyed by illegal drugs. That having been said, the TV show provides a great way and an interesting way for us to discuss the impact of chemistry on society and in our everyday lives. So in an attempt to make the course more interesting, we're going to use Breaking Bad. However, I will never purposely go out of my way to shock you. Just so you know a little bit about me, not only do I not use drugs, but I don't even drink. I'm a teetotaler. I just really like TV shows. As you'll discover, not only do I like Breaking Bad, I like lots of other TV shows. This course is aimed at people who are non-science majors. Not only are you a non-science major if you're in this course, you're going into a career where you're not going to use chemistry on the job. In other words, if you're in this class, you're an English major, you're a sociology major, although if you're a sociology major, you're going to have drug use impacting things you're doing, right? But you're never going to use chemistry directly in your career. This is not This is a class you should not be taking if you're a dental hygienist. You shouldn't be taking this class if you're pre-pharmacy or anything like this. This is a class strictly for non-science majors. This is a class for people looking to fulfill their science gen ed as easily and as painlessly as possible. This class is a 3 credit hour class. Because it's a 3-hour credit class for non-majors, guess how much work I expect you to put into it a week? I expect you to put in 3 hours worth of work. If you took this class with me face-to-face, everything would be done in class. You wouldn't have an outside assignment really to do. Therefore, I plan to limit your time spent on this class to 3 hours a week, or 45 hours total during the course of the semester. There's a mild math prerequisite, although I plan to minimize the amount of math used in the class. Last semester, there was one test, just one test, where I required a little bit of multiplication and division. Course competencies, basically, by the time you're through with this class, you should be able to understand some basic science. If you run across it in a news article, you should be able to understand how chemistry is used in your everyday life, how it's used in society. And you should really understand that chemistry is really awesome, fun, and you should not fear chemistry. You should embrace it, love it, and enjoy it. And I'm really hoping this will be, when you look back on your college career, one of your top 10 classes of all time. Help. I have a whole second part of this welcome lecture telling you how to seek help in this class from me. Basically, I have a question help message board in your course shell that you should use to contact me. Phone is a terrible way to contact me. I'll not answer it most of the time because I hate contact that doesn't include visuals. I'm a visual communicator. Email is great. If you do email me, post a message on that question help message board. Again, I've got a whole section of the lecture here about question help message board, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. I am located in Elizabethtown, so all times for this class are on Eastern Standard Time. Before I go any farther, would you please write down Vince Gillen? Write down Vince Gillen. Everybody should write down Vince Gillen. Now, why am I having you write down Vince Gillen? Well, that's a great segue to how to take this course. What are you going to do in this course on a daily basis? Every single Monday, I will post a schedule for the week of the 3 things you're to do that week. I've taught this online course for the first time last semester, so I do have the entire course already prepped, but I'm a perfectionist, so I'm going through and editing a couple things as we go along. Therefore, I'm going to be posting your assignments 1 week at a time. So every Monday, you'll log into the course shell, and when you log into the course shell, you will see, what will you see? Where's your course shell? Here it is. You'll see an announcement. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't mess things up there. All right, you'll see an announcement, and the announcement will look like this. It will have 5 columns: assignment date, assignment, Breaking Bad episode, learning outcome, and emergency late date. The assignment date is the date you should be doing the assignment. You should consider this the to-do date or even the due date. The assignment is what you should do on the first date. This middle column is the episode of Breaking Bad that the assignment relates to. The learning outcome column is the column that simply is my way of saying, hey, this is what I hope you learned by listening to the lecture today, or by watching the episode of Breaking Bad. Then you have the emergency late date, and this is the date after which an assignment is considered late. There is always a week between the date that you should do the assignment, you're supposed to do the assignment, and the date the assignment is considered late. The reason for that is I understand life happens. For example, I'm a native Murrian, so I understand the perils of the Western Kentucky Parkway. You could be planning on the 18th to go home and listen to my lecture over what is chemistry. You're driving along the Western Kentucky Parkway. Your car breaks down. You're wind up in a cell phone dead zone, and it could be 4 hours before you get any help, right? So obviously you're not going to be listening to the lecture that day. So rather than you have to call me and ask for an extension, hey, you've got a 7-day cushion. You still have the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, all of which to get this assignment done. So you have that emergency late date for you before I take off points for the assignments being late. As long as we're on the subject of penalties, if you turn in an assignment after the emergency late date, it's penalized 2.5% a day. You do not have to email me or post a message asking for me to accept an assignment late. The computer will automatically accept the assignment late. It will just penalize you that 2.5% a day. No matter how good your excuse is, I won't accept late work without a penalty. And this is going to sound cruel and mean. Even if you were in the hospital for 10 days, I'll let you do the work, but I'm still going to take that 2.5% penalty off. I'm just not going to play Solomon debating whether or not this student was telling the truth or that student was telling the truth. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say one person's illness was greater than another. 2.5% if you turn it in after that emergency late date, regardless of what the excuse is. Yeah, you can call me a jerk if you want to. Let's see. All right, so let's take a look. Today you're listening to the welcome lecture. Then you're going to take the syllabus quiz. I'll show you where the syllabus quiz is located in a second. The next day you're going to do a homework assignment. Where are your homework assignments and quizzes located? Your homework assignments and quizzes are located in Mastering Chemistry. If you go to your course shell, you'll see a button here labeled Mastering Chemistry. Click it, and it'll take you to a screen that looks like this, which is Mastering Chemistry. It's your homework program. All your assignments are located in it. You can see your assignments either through the calendar view here or through an assignment list. And you'll see here, let's take a look at the assignment list view. Mastering Chemistry also works really slow during peak hours of the day, which it is now. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Ooh, yes, I just referenced 1970s Saturday Night Live. Ooh, showing my age. And Mastering Chemistry can take forever to load. It's taking forever to load. It may not want to cooperate with us at the moment. And it's not going to cooperate with us at the moment, apparently. Yeah, there we go. It'll show you a list of assignments here. Let's take a look at your first lecture quiz. You have your first lecture quiz here. Ta-da! And this is where you'll do all your homework. In Mastering Chemistry, you'll also have an e-text or an electronic textbook. Nothing from this course really comes from the textbook. The course is all based on my lectures. However, I tie my lectures to parts of that textbook, and I'll always give you those page numbers for a reference. If you want to go and read the e-text, you just click e-text there, and it'll take you to an electronic version of your textbook. But I will never require you read your electronic textbook. It's just there for an additional resource if you want it. All right, so let's go back to looking at your first list of assignments there. So, all right, your first day there, you're doing homework and introduction. You're doing homework and Mastering Chemistry. Then you're watching an episode of Breaking Bad for the next day. Then you're listening to my lecture. On the 18th, you're going to listen to the first one of my lectures. Where do you find my lectures? Again, if you look at your course shell, you see a button labeled Dr. Kelly's Lectures. And you'll see Episode 1, Lecture 1. Well, the assignment told you to listen to Lecture 1, so here's Lecture 1. Go in there, click a link.
Don't even get past the opening credits before we get the first topic.
And it takes you to a link of my lecture. My lectures are all on YouTube. Because of that, They're all easy to listen to no matter what device you're listening to. You can listen to them. So after you listen to my lectures, you then have to take that lecture quiz. Let's go back to that lecture quiz that was located in Mastering Chemistry. So you listen to my lecture. After you listen to my lecture, you go to your assignments. You click Lecture Quiz 1. Lecture Quiz 1. When you click Lecture Quiz 1, you get something that looks like this. Look at your first lecture quiz. Dr. Kelly told you to write down which of the following words. Choose all that are correct. Cyborg, Black Vulcan. Wait a second. These are all DC superheroes. What does this have to do with chemistry? Absolutely nothing. In every single one of my lectures, I hide words that have zero to do with chemistry. The sole purpose of me hiding those words is to make you prove that you've listened to my lecture. So your lecture quizzes are really easy grades as long as you listen to the lecture. So that's what you'll do the day you listen to lectures. You'll listen to my lecture, then you'll take a lecture quiz where you document basically that you did in fact listen to the lecture. Then the days following my lecture, let's go back to the assignment here. Then on the 20th, after you've listened to lecture 1, you'll do some homework involving lecture 1. And that homework is located again in the Mastering Chemistry. National average for that time for that homework will be less than an hour. I never want you to spend more than an hour a day working on this class. So the homework assignment should take you less than an hour. And that would be it for your first 2 weeks of classes, actually. Check every single Monday. Every single Monday, I will post a new one of these boxes for you with your week's worth of assignments, sometimes a little bit more than a week. Let's go back to the syllabus. In addition to those sorts of activities, you'll also have tests. But before you take a test, you'll work a test review. And this test review will basically be your test verbatim. As in, if you take that test review and do well on it, you're going to take that test and do well on it. If you were taking me face-to-face, I'd give you the test review, and then to write the test, I'd change 1 or 2 words. Same concept here. You're going to take the test review, and I'll change a couple words on you for your test. My asthma is kicking in here, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. Wow, I'm such a nerd. I have asthma. But I do, and it's really beginning to affect me. I'm struggling here. Textbook, we went over where to locate it. Also, I'm playing with the idea of having you do a project at the end of class. If you had me face-to-face, the last 3 weeks of class, you'd spend putting together a science fair type project. If you think back to when you were in first, second grade, and you did those science projects where you mixed baking soda and vinegar and you tracked the gas in a balloon and you did that sort of thing, it was fun. Why on earth did we ever stop doing that sort of stuff? So when you have my face-to-face class, we spend a week doing one of those type of projects. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in this class yet, and I'm not sure how we would do that on this class. But if we did that, it would require some supplies. Those supplies would be well less than $20, probably in the $10 range. But I realize that $20 is a whole lot of money. Therefore, I'm warning you now that you may want to start putting away $1.10 a week or so, or $1.25 a week. Really, I understand that $20 is a lot of money. The only people who think $20 aren't a lot of money, isn't a lot of money, are people who aren't paying for it. So I understand $20 is a lot of money, so you may want to begin saving that $1.25 a week now. Calculators, I'm going to keep this class as low math as possible. Last semester, I think I had 1 homework assignment where I required some multiplication and division. A calculator will prove useful. You can get away with using the calculator on your cell phone, so you don't need to buy one. Access to Netflix or Amazon Prime so that you can watch Breaking Bad is really, really good. However, it's not required. So don't go telling your wife, honey, we have to subscribe to Netflix. My chemistry professor said so. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you have access to it, awesome. It'll enhance your enjoyment of the class if you can watch the Breaking Bad episodes. Also, your public library probably has at least season 1 of it on DVD for checkout. So you may want to check there if you don't have access to those. But you don't need to buy Breaking Bad, or you don't need to buy Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime or anything like that. It's just if you have it, it's great. If not, it's not the end of the world. Homework. I really want everybody to get a good grade in this class. It's 3 hours a week. I have the homework set so that you get 6 attempts on every single homework problem before your grade falls below a B on that homework problem. Last semester, everybody who finished the class got an A or a B. The only people who didn't were people who didn't finish the class. I mean, they just drifted off and disappeared on me at some point during the semester. I really want this class to be easy and enjoyable. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have to work. You're going to have to do those 3 hours of work. But this isn't going to be a class that should be causing ulcers. And this isn't going to be a class that's going to be number 1 on your priority list for the week, right? I was a student, right? I know you prioritize your classes, right? The classes in your major come first, then classes that are close to your major come second, and then classes like this one that have nothing to do with your major come last, right? But you do have to do the work. You can't ignore the class, and you can't say, I'm going to not take the class seriously. You have to work 3 hours a week on it. That's about it. The only last thing I want you to do is write down Bryan Cranston. Everybody write down Bryan Cranston. Once you've written down Bryan Cranston, we're done with the lecture. That's all, folks. Why are you still here? Go listen to the second part of the welcome lecture. Seriously, go listen to the second part of the welcome lecture.